people always talk about, people scrutinize Nintendo and how they're doing because they're a gaming company. They're the most famous gaming company. You know, when you think of Nintendo, you think of video games. And Nintendo has been doing well the past couple of years because the Wii U has been less than stellar in their sales. But the gaming division of Sony lost $78 million last year. And the person asked, why does that not get attention when Nintendo losing money does?
I think there's a few reasons for that. One, when you hear that Sony lost a lot of money, even if it's specifically attached to a gaming division, people tend to think, because Sony it's a bigger company with more things under its umbrella. I don't think everyone necessarily hears that as it's read to you. You know,
Sure.
78 million to the gaming division. I also think that people think Sony is doing a lot better than Sony actually is. Sony's been around forever. They did the Walkman. They do your car stereo. They do your TV. And it doesn't seem as specific. Now, when a company is video game centric, I think they think of it as smaller and perhaps more fragile, even though financially Nintendo is anything but
even
fragile.
Financially,
Right.
they're doing a lot better than.
But
most
you know what
others,
I'm saying? Like I think they just see Nintendo. Oh, they make games, so if they're doing poorly, they have to be teetering on this edge when that's not exactly the case.
Sure.
The other thing is Nintendo's a weird company. I like Nintendo. I mean, I really do. The 3DS is my favorite current generation system. But Nintendo does a lot of stupid things, and I think, or they do a lot of things that leave people scratching their heads. And I think, as time goes on, there is a group of people, and I'm definitely not one of them, but there are people who really just want to see Nintendo fall on their ass.
Fail or just get kicked down a notch, or
like I said, fall on their ass. I don't necessarily think fail, but people just seem to eat that news up with more glee than they do something like Sony.
I think people, it's dumb either way. It's like unless you're an investor, you shouldn't be following stuff like this, or unless the company's ready to go out of business. Nintendo's not going to go out of business.
No,
they're not going to go out of business for 50 years. You know, but a company like Sony that has been bleeding billions of dollars the past few years and is finally maybe starting to get back around. They have, like I always said, they can shut down the gaming division at a moment's notice. You know, if it's not making money, if the company goes under, it can be gone. You know, there are much more tenuous situations Sony is overall and the gaming division versus Nintendo, which is why I think it's funny.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think that a lot of people think, and I'm making a lot of assumptions, that Sony has a lot more to buoy them up than they actually do. Yeah. And they don't.
Their TV sales are down, have been down. That's one of the reasons why they're losing a ton of money.
Yeah. It's
not the thing where you have to buy a Sony LCD TV. You can buy a good, cheap LCD TV for like $300-$400 at Target. You know, that's one of the reasons why. Pushing 3D TVs, that hasn't worked. No one gives a shit about 3D TVs. No. Now they're trying to push 4K. It's like, no, we just bought our we just bought our LEDs even. We just bought our LED TVs, upgraded from LCD. You can't push new technology that quickly. That's why Blu-ray never caught on as much as I thought they would.
I was just going to say, I think my Blu-ray collection just broke the 5 mark after 4 years of having a Blu-ray player.
I said this years ago, Blu-ray's Laserdisc of this generation. It's just bad timing. It came out too soon after DVD. The jump up from DVD to Blu-ray is not big enough for 95% of people, and plus you have streaming now. So the Blu-ray, I have no interest in getting a Blu-ray player right at this moment. If it's built into something, sure. If it's built into my computer or a game system, sure. But do I have to go out and get one right now? I don't know.
I buy Blu-rays that are animation on Blu-ray that was done with that intent in mind. Looks gorgeous, but there's not a whole lot of reason otherwise to me.
We're getting off topic though.
Yeah. So to go back to the Sony thing, I mean, it is important to note that part of the loss is because they scrapped their computer division. So that's where money is lost. I mean, next financial report, it might not be quite so dire. I mean, they are making some smart moves. They are looking at their dead weight and cutting it off. So for people who are into games, and I don't think it's going to be PlayStation because it's doing well. PlayStation 4 is doing well. But, you know, the fact that they cut off their computer division just goes to show that a big company like this, in danger, will just start cutting off the limbs.
It's so funny that they just said we're not going to be making the Vaio, whatever, laptops anymore. Yeah, if you saw Amazing Spider-Man 2, they're all over. Everyone's using one of those shitty laptops. And it's like, oh, I want to buy them. Nope, we're not going to be really making them anymore.
Yeah, no.